They're the de facto Big Ten preseason favorite, despite the fact, and it's a little bit not to the same level of Carolina, obviously, last year, because Carolina went all the way to the title game.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it's the same, but I'm saying it's these guys hadn't really done anything.
That's the thing. They lost by 40 points to St. Mary's in the NCAA tournament. And granted, their travel was horrific. That's not a situation that you're being set up to win, but
they barely got in the tournament.
They barely made the tournament.
Right. They had to beat Michigan and Illinois just to get in. And the whole mantra of Indiana basketball changed based on those two games. And really, was it justified? I don't know. All right. Here's my take, Rob.
Injuries, before you start, injuries have played a big part.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going first to set it up. Indiana's lost 3 straight games. The one that I think is going to be the killer for multiple reasons here is the Iowa game, because they had that 10 minutes into the game. They're
up 20 points. They're up 21.
Crushing Iowa at Iowa. Crushing them. And then Race gets hurt.
And you know what? That's a tough deal, because when you have a player who has a serious injury, it can shell shock your group. And they look shell shocked after that.
And they've already lost Xavier Johnson for potentially the season.
They missed Huchefino's been in and out with the back thing.
Yep. And here's what I will say to Indiana fans watching. Trayce Jackson-Davis is really, really hurt. Really hurt. Really gutting it out. A lot of
the way he runs. I mean, the way he's running, he doesn't look right.
He's not healthy. He's not healthy. And this kid deserves a ton of credit, because a lot of guys in his position right now, Rob, with NIL and the draft stock, they'd be out. They'd say, you know what? There's no way I'm going out here. But I give him credit. He's trying to win games, trying to help his team get on track, trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. So Trayce is hurt. Xavier Johnson is out. Race Thompson is out. Jalen Huchefino has been hurt. There's a lot of stuff going on here with Indiana that people probably aren't giving them enough leeway. They're not going to win the Big Ten. We know that. But I told my daughter, I'm like, they just got to get to the tournament. That's
that would be definitely. I agree with you 100%. Injuries have decimated their team, but that doesn't excuse the lack of execution defensive game plan wise. I mean, they gave up 84 points to Northwestern.
Yeah.
And Northwestern has had a very good season. They had a tough loss last night. They are a defensive team. Their offensive efficiency going into last night's game was 162nd in college basketball. And they give up 84 points to them. But to start the game, Robbie Barron had really struggled. He's been very up and down in his time in Evanston. First play of the game, simple back screen. No one opens up, layup. He goes for 13. Like, you give this guy, you get his head up. He's on scholarship.
Right.
He's a top 75 player coming out of high school. He's got ability. I mean, you give up a wide open layup, and all of a sudden he makes 2 threes, right? The containing of the bounce. Boo-booey. I mean, they just could not keep him in front. You look at the ball screen stuff. Total breakdowns in their ball screen defense. Last night against Penn State, they shoot more threes than anybody in the league. Penn State is trying to not turn it over, and they are trying to go bombs away from 3. That is Micah Shrewsbury's recipe to win. They give up 18 3-pointers. 18. Right. Seth Lundy makes 12. Seth Lundy makes 7. Andrew Funk makes 7. That is, I mean, just the execution of the game plan. And I was listening to Mike Woodson's press conference on the drive home from Evanston last night. And he said, we had a good game plan. Well, that tells me that if you think your game plan was good, then your players did an absolutely horrific job of executing it.
Right.
Because 18 threes in a game is terrible. That cannot happen. And I agree that there's injuries, but still the carryover from what they are working on from a scouting report standpoint, taking it to the game has been abysmal. And that needs to be something where, all right, we might lose, but we're going to execute the way that we want to execute. And they're not doing that right now.